Yo, 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 what's going on, beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people? It's me, Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. This one has been a long time coming, and it's not a lot of things that I avoid. Let's say that, you know what I mean? And yes, I am driving. But it's not a lot of things that I avoid, but this was one that the more I read, the more I researched, the more I talked to people, I was a little disturbed myself. And so in being disturbed, sometimes you don't know how to quite format your words. But yes, it's about Killer Kimbo. Not only Killer Kimbo, but his blood, his owner. How did we get here? Over half of the dogs in the UK are said to have Killer Kimbo's blood. It's a litany of vicious attacks, maulings, not only on adults. Children have been killed. Their owners have been attacked. And I won't go into details because some of the details are a bit much. What the heck is that on my shirt? Some of the details are a bit much to the point that I don't think we need to go into those things, to be honest with you. The one thing I will say is this: does that blood need to be bred? No, it doesn't. And this is one of the reasons why I did not, and whatever else on my shirt is going to drive me crazy, but this is one of the reasons why I did not do this video a while ago, is because everything that's going on in the UK, everything that's going on around the world, it may come off as I'm agreeing with these things. But the dogs that possess his blood are dangerous. It's just that simple. We've seen it in the United States. We've seen it in Canada. We've seen it in the UK, unfortunately, that these dogs are very, 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 very dangerous. To keep on having death come up with these dogs is scary, to say the least. And y'all forgive me, I'm tired as hell. I've been up for 48 hours straight. But let's get into why. The why. Of course, the XL bullies, double XL bullies, whatever you want to call them, gained popularity, gained even more popularity when the Hulk came along and he was on, what was that, Good Morning America or something of that nature. And everybody wanted the biggest pit bull in the world. Everybody wanted them, what at that time was even being advertised as the most expensive, not just the biggest, the most expensive pit bull in the world. Giant, the interviews back then, they were giant, cuddly animals. They looked so mean, but they were cuddly. And it started a worldwide phenomenon. Probably part of the reasons why the UK is, got flooded with the dogs. Same reason why there are a good amount of them in Canada, and there's definitely a lot of them in the States. This is one of the things that I oftentimes talk to you guys about as far as problems go. We are a marketing community. And one of the biggest problems where marketing doesn't match the product is we put people in danger. I've told y'all about a well-known breeder who's all over the internet who also has this blood. And I've seen the pictures, the very grotesque pictures of where one of his dogs that he sold a family literally tried to kill a little girl. Her father put himself in the middle to fight the dog. And the result of that, and I've seen the pictures, I'm not bullshitting you, was I could see the bones in his arm like it was a chicken wing. I could see, digits missing off the hands. Now, this was a grown man fighting for his life, fighting for his daughter's life against a dog that he had raised. Imagine if that dog had got to that baby like these dogs have gotten to in several other occasions. Me being one of the originators of this breed, it's hard for me to speak any other way than what I'm speaking now, because this was not what it was supposed to be. We've had, a lady killed. I do believe that was in Canada. We've had a slew of deaths that may not be attributed to, but very well could be attributed to the kimbo blood, in the States. We know some of them were. One of the things that really struck a nerve with me, and I'm not going to give y'all too much because one day we're going to do podcasts and the podcast is going to be live on this topic, is the owner saying that the only reason that these dogs do this is because people shoot them up with steroids. See, this is one of the biggest problems in the American bully community. And what I mean by that is, in our community, we have a total lack of accountability. The same way that the big registry and the big, the big guy decided to go and say that the dogs don't exist, thinking that they could get over with that lie. This is the same thing that we're seeing now from an individual who won't recognize, with a multitude of bites, a multitude of problems, to the point that there are many, many articles about the deaths and the seriousness of the situation that is coming from the dog that he bred, Kimbo. He would, without merit, go out and say that the reason this is happening is because of steroid use. He's had no testing on these dogs, for one, to show that they were on steroids. He's had no real information to say that these dogs were shot up with steroids. But the information that he does have is that there are a long list of people who have had dogs with his blood that are going out of their way to say that your dogs turned on their owners, they've killed other people, they've attacked other people, mauled people pretty badly, terrorized some people to the point where one lady had to fight off her own dog while clutching her daughter, while the dog was mauling her daughter and escaping out of a window. Unfortunately, her daughter did not survive. This is what I'm saying, man. So when you hear stories like this, another young kid savagely mauled by a same bloodline of dogs, why is it that you're so callous in your thought process that you take no accountability and say, maybe we should look into this? You just recklessly go off and accuse parents who have lost their child to your stupid breeding techniques and false promotion of a breed that you know is dangerous, and you go accuse them of shooting their dogs up with steroids and blaming them. So this fucking idiot, and I won't say his name, y'all know people like to send out lawsuits, but he can send it, I don't give a shit. But at no point in time, I've read a lot of articles, I've watched little bullshit interviews, all this shit, I've never heard this idiot come out and say, you know what, maybe we should take a look into my dogs. It was always the way people treated them. It was always the way that people supposedly were shooting these dogs up with steroids. It was always a different reason as to why his dogs were fucking over the whole entire world. This is why our community is hard to defend of people like this. Look, you fucking idiot. People have lost their lives, bro. People have literally lost their lives, and you're still trying to make excuses. Not trying to make excuses, you're coming up with frivolous excuses, with absolutely no proof of steroid use anywhere. None of these dogs that were put down were tested for steroids or anything. None of that. But you just say dogs that you weren't in the home. You didn't see anybody shoot them up, but a problem happens. Oh, it had to be steroids. All of the dogs around the world that has your blood that are freaking out and turning on their owners and just being very, very mentally unstable. Even some of them, and I think the scariest stories that you hear about these dogs is something that I mentioned to y'all about my Alabaha back in the day. The dogs don't seem to show you that they're ready to attack. On several occasions, on several of the articles that I've read, and even the one individual that I talked to that owned one of these dogs that attacked, they said the dog had never shown any signs of this type of aggression. It was just like some kind of switch flicked, and the dog was just like in attack mode. This was a dog that, like the owner of Kimbo and the breeder of Kimbo says, that these big dogs, the kids would kiss and hug on them, and they were very, very gentle animals. They didn't show this. Then one day, it's just like the dog's eyes were, and I'm just saying like a movie, not literally, but the dog's eyes would roll back in his head, and when they came back down, he was a totally different animal. Very, very aggressive, whatever the case may be. An attack. How can you with good conscience keep trying to sell this to people? How do you not feel any kind of issue, any kind of anything when people are telling you that children are being killed by your dogs, man? Your reaction is to blame the parents who are now mourning their children at the hands of, your bloodline. Like I said, I don't want to go too deep on this because we do have to save it. But the truth of the matter is that I know the great people of the UK are fighting for their dogs. I believe in their breeding tactics. I know that their breeding tactics in Europe are generally a lot better than what we do in the United States. And they won't breed garbage dogs, and they won't go forward. But at this time, we do have to take a serious look at quote unquote killer Kimbo. It's even amazing that this dog has that name, and that's not his real name, but they gave him that nickname, and y'all know why. And we're applauding this. We are literally applauding a dog line that is responsible for a very good amount of deaths and even way more attacks. A bloodline that could single-handedly be the reason that people in the UK are going through hell right now and being forced to give away their dogs. But we applaud that. And we have a dumbass owner that talks about every dog that ever attacked is basically shot up with steroids, has nothing to do with his blood. Well, let me tell you something, dude. I can probably tell you why your dogs are mentally unstable. If you ever see this dog's pedigree, all you have to do is go back to the 4th generation. In the 4th generation of these dogs, you'll find something very, 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 very interesting. It's basically one dog the whole way through. This is inbreeding at its finest. It is a heavy amount of inbreeding. You know what I mean? You have this one dog in the pedigree 4 times in the 4th generation. Just boom, 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 boom. All that shit. So basically, it equates to basically breeding litter mate siblings together over and over again. They line bred litter mate, basically litter mate siblings. It's basically the equivalent of that. Then they continue to line breed the shit, continue to line breed it, and you wonder why the dogs are losing their minds. It's not that the dogs are on steroids, they're insane from your techniques of inbreeding. Anybody knows you can't inbreed dogs like that. His pedigree tells the whole story of why these dogs are flipping out like they are. They're mentally unstable. There's no reputable breeder that would advise you to breed the way that dog is bred. And then it's even scarier to hear that people are still wanting to breed this same blood with more line breeding. Let's breed more Kimbo to more Kimbo and make it even more tightly line bred. I would like to tell y'all that there is some future for this. I would like to tell y'all that we have some very, very specific and easy answer for this. But the community has been failed. The community has been failed by the registry. The community has been failed by the breeders. I cannot sit here with good conscience and tell you people that the dogs that have that dog heavily in their pedigree should ever be bred. There's too much evidence. There's too much information going around. This dog should not be bred. At the end of the day, to continuously breed that blood, you are basically guaranteeing that there will be more lives taken just for the sake of you saying, guess what? I got a dog off such and such, or I got a big ass dog. It's not worth it. It's unethical as a breeder. It's not good for the breed at all to put those kind of combinations into the breed. And it should have been stopped a long time ago. If the dogs was under my registry, when I heard of the first sets of attacks and I could draw the parallels and we could figure out it was him, very, very shortly after that, he would have been banned. It would have been time to shut his shit down. This is what happens when you start talking about dogs with horrible temperament as tools and brood stock. The dumb shit that y'all say in this American bully community. If a dog is that big and man aggressive, you do not sit there and promote the dog as a fucking house pet and sell it all over the world. That's how people's kids end up dead. That's how people end up dead. You son of a bitches have gotten to the point where you care so much about money that you don't even give a fuck about human life. And it's even sadder that the so-called registry that registers this shit all over the world and has made a ton of money off of it won't even address the fact but keeps on making fucking excuses. What about them babies that died? Y'all might tell me I go over the top sometime, but I'm a dad like a motherfucker. I got one of mine sitting here, just dropped off two of mine, and they'll be with me again, and we'll be at the beach. I love my kids. Trust me, as soon as I cash out on the next thing, we to the beach. I love my kids. I love kids in general. So this is why I didn't want to do the fucking video, because when y'all seen me before, when I get to talking about kids and thinking about a little girl getting mauled by this big ass dog and actually losing her life, and then to see certain people sit in front of cameras and try to demean and lower it, and it's not that big and all that. Come on, man. What kind of bitch are you? What kind of bitch are anybody who tries to lessen what happened to these children? You are a true piece of shit. Don't breed this shit. It's that simple. I don't give a fuck what money you have invested in it. I don't give a fuck about your bitch ass opinion. Don't breed this shit. It is not a companion dog. That there is not a companion dog. It's not even stable enough to be a working dog if you can't tell when the dog is going to decide to go. I tell you, I fucks with working dogs. I can't fuck with a working dog that attacks me. I'm supposed to be teaching him to attack other shit. He gonna turn around and bite the shit out of me? These dogs are inbred pieces of shit. It's just that simple. You got a bunch of inbred piece of shit breeders that's breeding inbred piece of shit dogs and putting them out here and risking people's lives. Now, do I believe that that's the whole XL community? No, I don't. I've seen a lot of very well behaved, history of being great pets, history of being great dogs, XL American bullies. So the Kimbo line does not represent the XL American bully as a whole, but those dogs in general should be watched very, very closely. It should be bred on a very, 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 very limited basis if it's ever going to be bred. But I will remind all of you, if you're breeding this shit and you're sending it to people, you are rolling the dice that you could get a call that your dog has killed somebody. You're rolling the dice that somebody could lose their 4-year-old daughter. You're rolling the dice that somebody could lose their absolute fucking mind with the memories of trying to fight off a damn near 200-pound dog that is ripping your child to shreds, and you are so terrified to the point that you take your baby finally when you get it away from your own fucking dog and hop out of a window trying to save your baby's life and your daughter's and your own. this is what you're doing. Keep in mind that dog was a family pet who had never showed signs of anything. I'm gonna end this video because I could see that I promised y'all I wasn't gonna go down certain avenues, so I'm not. But I'll just tell you, everyone involved, you're pieces of shit. You know you're wrong for breeding this shit. You know you're wrong for sending this shit out to the community. People are dying. And if you give a fuck more about making money than people actually dying in that horrific way, children dying in that horrific way, there's nothing that I can say to you. It's something I would like to do to you, but it's nothing I can say to you. Be smarter, American bully community. I'll holler at y'all next time. Much love. Peace.